Sagittarius. If you've been waking up tired, feeling like the world is moving but you're standing still, this message is not just for you, it's about you. There is a fatigue that isn't physical, a heaviness that doesn't belong to your schedule, a silence that sleep cannot touch. And if you're feeling it not just today, but lately, then something ancient is rising. Because in astrology, not every exhaustion is random. Some are encoded. They are signs carved into your energy field, messages that only arrive when you're on the edge of a transformation that cannot be delayed. And Sagittarius, you are on that edge right now. I've studied this sign for decades. I've watched Sagittarians collapse in the days before a breakthrough. Not because they were weak, but because their souls were finally too full of what no longer belonged. And I'll tell you this truth, not as a content creator, but as a lifelong researcher of Sagittarius energy. The fatigue you feel is sacred. This isn't about your job, or your relationship, or your to-do list. It's about something cosmic, something timed, something that has been quietly circling the end of December, waiting for your system to slow down enough to hear it. Because here's the secret most never hear in time. The last 3 days of December are not symbolic. They are exact. They are coded. They are waiting for you to notice. And if you don't, the lesson will repeat. Different year, same exhaustion, same cycle, new disguise. But you're not here by accident. This message found you now because something in your fatigue is trying to speak, and for the first time in a long time, you are finally quiet enough to listen. So stay, not for the video, not for me. Stay, because this time your soul is not asking for motivation, it's asking for revelation. And before this is over, you'll understand exactly what that means. Now we move into part 1, the truth behind the tiredness, where the real decoding begins. Part 1. The truth behind the tiredness. There is a kind of tiredness that doesn't respond to rest. You sleep longer, you cancel plans, you take a break, and still the weight doesn't lift. If this is you, Sagittarius, let me say something clearly. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are feeling the gravity of something larger, something planetary, something karmic. And in my 20+ years studying Sagittarius, I've seen this moment come like a pattern. It doesn't shout. It whispers. At first, it shows up as distraction. You lose interest in things you used to love. Then it becomes disorientation. You're doing everything right, but nothing feels aligned. And finally, it lands as fatigue. Quiet, unshakable, total. But this isn't weakness. This is what I call soul fatigue. It arrives not because you're doing too little, but because you've been carrying too much for too long, and none of it is aligned with where you're supposed to go next. Sagittarius, your ruler. Jupiter is the planet of truth. It doesn't deal in illusions. When something is out of sync with your future, Jupiter doesn't whisper. It blocks the road. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. You're not tired from life. You're tired from the version of life that no longer fits you. This kind of fatigue is spiritual compression. It's your future self closing in, asking you to release anything you're still clinging to that's not part of the next chapter. And here's what I've learned through the decades, not from books, but from Sagittarius. After Sagittarius who came to me in this exact phase, they weren't falling apart. They were outgrowing an identity they had clung to for too long. They tried to push through. They forced motivation. They searched for reasons to keep going. But eventually, they had to admit it. The fatigue wasn't asking them to try harder. It was asking them to let go. Let go of roles. Let go of the guilt. Let go of promises made in old chapters. Let go of the urgency to fix what's actually trying to fall away. And Sagittarius, the truth is, the reason your energy feels heavy isn't because you're behind. It's because you're on the edge of something that cannot be entered with old baggage. This is a threshold, not a trap. a gate, not a grave. And here's the part most people miss. Fatigue isn't just a signal to slow down. It's a preparation. It's the body's way of making sure you don't miss a message that only reveals itself when everything else is still. And that message, it's circling the final days of December, astrologically, energetically, spiritually, because that's when Jupiter aligns, Pluto presses, and Saturn challenges your truth. Not to punish you, but to reveal what cannot follow you into 2026. So Sagittarius, if you've been trying to snap out of it, stop. If you've been beating yourself up for being unmotivated, breathe. Because this isn't a breakdown. This is a soul checkpoint. And the truth is, not everyone gets one. Not everyone is summoned in this way. If you feel this in your chest, if you feel seen right now, then this isn't exhaustion. It's direction, life lesson. The soul speaks through the body long before the mind is ready to listen. And fatigue isn't a failure. It's a compass pointing you toward truth. Comment if this resonates with you. Let the universe know you're listening. Part 2. The burden you didn't choose. Sagittarius. The world knows your fire, but it rarely sees the weight you carry to keep that fire alive. You are the sign of the seeker, the one who searches for truth even in the ruins. The one who holds space for others, who forgives before being asked, who gives hope when no one else can see a way forward. But behind that light, there's a silence you've been carrying, a responsibility no one talks about, a fatigue that has nothing to do with sleep. I want to speak to that part of you now, because over the years in countless charts and conversations, I've seen the same hidden wound in Sagittarius souls. You weren't just born to seek. You were born into expectations that were never spoken out loud but always felt. You became the strong one, the hopeful one, the one others leaned on, and eventually the one who carried what no one else could. And you did it because you're kind, because you're wise, because you thought, if I don't hold it together, everything falls apart. But Sagittarius, that burden was never yours. You were taught not directly, but through energy, that love means holding pain for others, that to be strong is to endure, that understanding others means sacrificing yourself. And so quietly, you inherited emotional debts that weren't yours. You accepted roles you never auditioned for: caretaker, peacemaker, translator of unspoken wounds. But now your soul is tired, not weak, not broken, just done, because something deep inside you knows the weight you've been carrying belongs to someone else's timeline. And you've reached the edge of that story. You've outgrown the identity that was built around endurance. Here's what most people don't see. Sagittarius doesn't just get tired from doing too much. They get tired from holding in too much. You feel the room, you read between the lines, you sense what others avoid. And instead of ignoring it, you carry it. That's why your fatigue is spiritual. It's not about what you're doing, it's about what you've absorbed. And right now, in the final stretch of this year, the universe is confronting you with one simple but uncomfortable truth. You cannot carry this into the next chapter. Not because you're selfish, not because you're quitting, but because the version of you who took on everyone's weight is evolving. This is where it gets sacred. Because the moment you start to put it down, the guilt might rise. You'll wonder, who will I be if I stop being the strong one? You'll fear being seen as cold. You'll fear letting someone fall. You'll fear losing love. But Sagittarius, hear this. Love is not a transaction of suffering. It is not your job to shrink so others can expand. You were not born to be the container for other people's unprocessed karma. You were born to walk free, to seek what's next, to expand beyond old patterns, not carry them. And the reason you feel so heavy right now isn't because you're failing anyone. It's because you're finally ready to stop betraying yourself. Life lesson. Compassion without boundaries is not virtue. It is self-erasure. You are allowed to let go, not to abandon others, finally return to yourself. Comment if this truth stirred something in you. Write, I am ready to release what's not mine. Let your energy send that signal outward. Part 3. The mythic core of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, before you were a sign, you were a myth, a symbol drawn not in books, but in the constellations. A centaur, half human, half beast, half instinct, half intellect, a bridge between the wild and the divine. To understand the fatigue you feel now, you must first remember who you've always been. In the mythology, Sagittarius is ruled by the wisdom of Chiron, the wounded healer. A centaur, unlike the others. While most were wild and unruly, Chiron was noble, a teacher of heroes, a healer of gods, a mentor of legends. But he carried a wound he could never heal, a pain that lived inside his own body, even as he taught others how to heal theirs. This Sagittarius is your cosmic inheritance. You are the one who knows what it means to walk with a wound and still choose to guide, to carry your ache in silence while offering light to those who stumble in the dark. But that light has a cost, because eventually every wounded healer must confront their own pain, not just study it, not teach through it, but feel it, and finally release it. And this is what your soul is asking of you now. The fatigue you feel is not just modern burnout. It's not just a stressful season or an emotional dip. It is myth reawakening in your bones. It is the call of the centaur asking you to stop galloping forward and tend to the part of you that's been bleeding beneath the armor. Here's the truth I've seen in Sagittarius again and again. You are brilliant at healing others because you've had to survive yourself. But healing through service is not the same as healing through truth. And the truth is, Sagittarius, you are tired. Not just because you've helped so many, but because you've ignored your own sacred need to rest, to process, to surrender. In the legend, Chiron gives up his immortality. He chooses to end the cycle, to pass the wound back to the stars and become something more. That is what you are being asked to do now. To end the story of the one who holds it all together. To surrender the identity of the constant teacher, the emotional healer, the spiritual guide. Not forever, but just long enough to remember that you are not just here to serve others, you are also here to live. You are not only a lesson for others to learn from, you are a life that deserves to be free. This is the spiritual fatigue few understand. When the soul is tired of being used only as a lighthouse, when the healer needs healing, when the wise one must go quiet in order to be wise again. That's why everything feels so loud right now, why even joy feels distant, why silence feels too full. It is your myth asking to be rewritten. You are not just the centaur, you are the arrow it aims. And you cannot aim forward if your hands are still shaking from the weight of what you've carried. This is the turning point. Let go of the story where you are always strong. Let go of the need to teach through exhaustion. Let go of the idea that your worth lives in your ability to hold pain. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be human even if half of you is made of stars. Because Chiron's final gift wasn't in what he taught, it was in what he finally released. And Sagittarius, so is yours. Life doesn't ask you to die for your wisdom. It asks you to live with it, because only when you do can your light become healing again. Life lesson. You are not here to endlessly hold others together. You are here to remember that your truth, your rest, and your freedom are sacred too. Comment if this speaks to your soul. Write, I remember who I am. Let the myth rise again. The next part takes us into what's coming, part 4, the December gate. Here we'll explore why the last 3 days of this month carry a rare cosmic alignment and why the universe chose now to slow you down. Part 4, the December gate. There are moments in astrology that don't just influence your mood, they shift your entire direction. Moments when the planets don't ask, they press. When time doesn't flow, it converges. And Sagittarius, the final 3 days of December are exactly that. Not metaphor, not poetry. Literal gates in the sky. As the year closes, a rare energetic funnel forms, involving your ruling planet Jupiter, the heavy hand of Saturn, and the deep soul excavating force of Pluto. These aren't casual shifts, they're initiations. Let me break this down not in astrology speak, but in soul terms. Jupiter, your cosmic ruler, is about growth, truth, expansion. It usually pushes you forward. It fills you with fire, optimism, restlessness, ideas. But now it's being compressed. And when Jupiter compresses, Sagittarius doesn't sprint. It stops. Suddenly, momentum disappears. Motivation fades. And the path that was once clear now feels covered in fog. That's not failure, it's a design. Because when growth slows down, truth rises up. And that's what these final days of December are really about. Sagittarius. Right now, you are being slowed down, not because the universe is ignoring you, but because it is finally speaking to you, loudly, clearly, and through your body. The fatigue you feel is the system demanding stillness. Why? Because Pluto is digging. This planet doesn't ask for your permission. It reveals what you've avoided, the false beliefs, the old patterns, the outdated dreams that no longer carry your frequency. And while Pluto peels back your illusions, Saturn holds the line. Saturn says, you can't take that with you. It brings structure, reality, responsibility. Not to weigh you down, but to prepare you for what's next. Together they form the threshold. And for Sagittarius, who lives for motion and freedom, this feels like the universe has tied a weight to your wings. But that's only half the truth. Because these 3 days at the end of December are not about breaking you, they are about aligning you. Your soul chose this, not the exhaustion, but the timing. Every 12 years, Jupiter completes a full zodiac cycle. And when it comes to this part of the sky, these days are often karmic checkpoints. You are being asked one sacred question. Are you living in truth, or are you just surviving in momentum? It's not an easy question. And Sagittarius, you're not meant to answer it from your mind. You're meant to feel the answer rise from your bones. During these last 3 days, the gate narrows. Distractions stop working. Speed becomes resistance. And clarity only enters those who pause long enough to hear what their soul already knows. This isn't a time to force. This is a time to listen. In my years guiding Sagittarius souls through moments like this, I've seen something remarkable happen. The ones who surrender, who stop running, stop pushing, stop explaining away their exhaustion, are the ones who receive the clearest answers. Not through signs in the sky, but through stillness, a conversation, a dream, a journal entry, a moment of breath so honest it opens a timeline. And that's what this is, a timeline shift. If you resist it, you repeat it. If you pause for it, you rewrite it. The fatigue is the slowdown before the reveal. You might feel like nothing is happening, but behind the silence, everything is moving. These 3 days are not passive. They are charged, precise. They are asking you to stop living in the momentum of your past and start living in the clarity of your future. Not everyone will hear it, but Sagittarius, you can, because your soul isn't asleep. It's waiting for the moment when the body gets tired enough for the truth to finally enter. And that moment is now. Life lesson. The universe doesn't slow you down to punish you. It slows you down so you don't miss the message that was always meant for you. Comment if you feel the gate opening. Right. I am ready to receive what this December is revealing. In part 5, we step into the pause itself. We'll talk about what it means to stop without giving up, to be still without collapsing, and how true transformation begins in silence. Part 5. The Sacred Pause. Sagittarius. The world has conditioned you to keep moving, to push through discomfort, to outrun the doubt, to find purpose in progress even when your soul is asking for stillness. But the universe speaks a different language, and right now it is asking you to pause. This pause is not punishment, it is sacred, because there are moments when stopping is the most powerful thing you can do. Not because you're giving up, but because you're finally making space for something truer to arrive. You see, transformation doesn't happen in the sprint. It happens in the stillness between steps. The ancient teachers knew this. In Buddhist practice, the most important part of a movement is the space between breath. The silence, the nothing, the waiting. And right now, Sagittarius, you are in that exact space. You are between who you were and who you're becoming. It's uncomfortable, yes, unfamiliar, even frightening, but it is also divine. Because your exhaustion is not chaos. It is the body's intelligence saying something new is coming and you need space for it. This is why motivation feels so far away, why joy feels muted, why even rest doesn't feel like restoration. Your nervous system is holding on to an old rhythm, but your soul is no longer dancing to that song. The mistake most make here is to panic, to force their way forward, to search for something to fix. But Sagittarius, this isn't a problem. It's a process, a shedding, a recalibration, a sacred silence before clarity. And it requires something Sagittarius rarely gives itself: patience. You've always been the traveler, the thinker, the one who needs movement to feel alive. But now the movement is internal, invisible, cellular, karmic. And you can't rush it. Because if you do, you'll miss the entire message. And the cycle will return again and again until you're finally still enough to receive the truth fully. That's what this moment is. A checkpoint, a cosmic pause. You are not meant to leap right now. You are meant to listen. And listening is not passive. Listening is how destiny whispers. This is the paradox that every Sagittarius eventually learns. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is to stop, to sit with the discomfort, to breathe through the silence, to wait, not with desperation, but with trust. Because when you pause, truly pause, you give the universe room to enter. You make space for alignment. You release the noise that drowns out your own knowing. You return to the center that's always been there waiting for you beneath the fire, the thoughts, the momentum. This is not a weakness, this is wisdom. And Sagittarius, you carry that wisdom in your bones. It's just been covered by years of urgency. Now is the time to uncover it. Let the world spin, let others rush. You are not falling behind, you are falling inward. And from that place, everything true will emerge. Life lesson. The sacred pause is not the absence of purpose. It is the place where your next purpose is born. Comment prompt. Comment. If you feel called to stop running. Write. I choose the sacred pause. Next, we'll move into part 6. The real question: continue or stop? This is where the decision point comes, where we face the hard truth. Some things can't come with us into the next chapter. Some things must end. Part 6. The real question: continue or stop? Sagittarius, when the noise fades and the distractions fall away, only one question remains. Should I keep going or should I stop? Not out of failure, not out of fear, but out of truth. This question isn't about giving up. It's about choosing alignment over endurance. Choosing what's real over what's familiar. Choosing your future over your past. And I'll tell you something that's hard to say, but harder to ignore. Not everything in your life right now is meant to come with you into the next chapter. some roles, some connections, some responsibilities, some dreams. They were necessary once, but now they're just weight. And the reason you're exhausted isn't because you're weak, it's because you've known this deep down, but you've kept walking anyway. You've tried to justify staying, tried to convince yourself you just need more motivation, more energy, more strategy. But Sagittarius, this is not a motivational issue. This is an alignment issue. And fatigue is the first signal that something inside you is no longer willing to pretend. This is the point in the journey where a truth must be spoken. Continuing something that no longer fits is more dangerous than stopping it. Because when you keep going out of guilt, fear, or habit, you pay with energy. You sacrifice clarity. And eventually, you lose the spark that made you Sagittarius in the first place. I've seen it in countless Sagittarians over the years. They push past the sign, ignore the fatigue, and tell themselves, "I'll rest when it's over." But the truth is, if it's not aligned, it will never be over. It will just repeat. Same exhaustion, different storyline. Sagittarius. Your soul isn't asking you to quit life. It's asking you to quit the version of life that was built around someone you no longer are. That's not failure, that's evolution. And yes, it comes with fear. Yes, it comes with grief. Yes, it may feel like a betrayal to others, to your past, even to your identity. But nothing new begins until something old ends. The universe won't reveal the next path while your hands are still clinging to what's collapsing. And here's what I know to be true. The longer you delay this decision, the louder the fatigue becomes. The deeper the frustration. The more disconnected you feel from your purpose, your joy, your fire. This is not about burning it all down. This is about releasing what no longer contributes to your becoming. And only you know what that is. Maybe it's a relationship built on old expectations. Maybe it's a dream that once fit, but now shrinks you. Maybe it's a role you've played for so long you forgot who you were before it. Whatever it is, it's costing you something sacred now. And the question is no longer, can I keep doing this? The question is, should I? This is the real moment of power, not action, awareness. The willingness to say, I choose clarity over comfort, truth over image, freedom over obligation. Because what's coming into your life next doesn't need a tired version of you. It needs the real you, the one who is rested, the one who is honest, the one who stopped carrying things out of guilt and started walking with intention. Sagittarius, you are not at a wall, you are at a gate. But only honesty opens it. Life lesson. The hardest decisions are not between good and bad. They're between what's familiar and what's true. And truth always feels like freedom when you finally choose it. Comment if you feel the tension of this truth. Right? I choose what's real even if it's hard. The final part is coming, part 7. The ending. This is where we close the circle with clarity, grace, and a reminder of what this fatigue has been leading to all along. Part 7. The answer that lives in the stillness. Sagittarius, if you're still here, something in you has already begun to shift. Not because of what I said, but because of what your soul remembered while you listened. That tiredness you've been feeling. It was never a curse. It was never a weakness. It was never failure. It was a message, a sacred one. And now you're finally quiet enough to hear it. You weren't meant to carry the weight of everything. You weren't meant to solve what wasn't yours. You weren't meant to keep walking just because you could. You were meant to wake up, to pause, to ask the harder question, and to hear the real answer, not from me, but from the stillness inside you. Because, Sagittarius, the answer has never been far. It lives in the space where you stop pretending, where you let the silence speak, where you admit with honesty that something must change. And now that you've heard it, you can't unhear it. You can't return to the version of yourself who didn't know. You can't keep carrying what you now see clearly was never yours. And that's not a tragedy. That's liberation. That's the true beginning. Because this moment was never about ending something outside of you. It was about ending the part of you that believed endurance was your purpose. Your purpose is truth. Your purpose is clarity. Your purpose is freedom. And that freedom begins when you honor the signal. So, when the final 3 days of December arrive, don't rush them. Don't numb them. Don't force meaning. Just be still. Be honest. Be willing to let something go, so that something greater can take its place. You're not alone in this. There are Sagittarians across the world feeling this same ache, this same calling, this same invitation to choose differently. So speak it, claim it, let it echo through this moment. Comment if this resonates. Write, I choose truth over tiredness. Let your words become the signal. And if you know someone who's been walking with this invisible weight, share this. Not to go viral, but to create a ripple of awakening. One soul at a time. Sagittarius, your fatigue was never the ending. It was the doorway. And now, you're ready to walk through. Before you go, if this message stirred something inside you, don't let it fade. Subscribe to the Sagittarius Flame, not out of habit but out of timing, because the signals ahead won't come louder. They'll come deeper. And what's coming next will need the awareness you've started to awaken here. This isn't just a video. This is the beginning of a journey, and this channel is your guide. So if you're ready to walk it with clarity, subscribe now and stay close. The next sign is already on its way.